Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you guys can see, we do have the Corvette in third base, so that means the Corvette is officially home. So I'm filming this as of June 7th, 2022. You guys should see this in a couple weeks. Might be early July, might be end of June. I just don't know when this video will come up on the playlist. But basically, I dropped this car off on April 19th of last year. So this car has been gone for about 14 months, and you guys might be saying that's crazy. Well, it is crazy because if you guys look over here, you know, we've obviously done a lot of work with the truck, and we've actually gathered a bunch of parts to put on this car even though I didn't have it. And why the Corvette was gone, if you guys remember, we did that C701 bumper modification we got that bumper from BonecrrusherSS.com, and we were going to mold it into the front C6 bumper. You guys saw a little bit of that, and I got that extra bumper, that black bumper. I started repairing it, and then I came to the conclusion, like, all right, I can't do this. Basically, we're out of my wheelhouse for knowledge, and if I didn't care about how the car looked, I probably could have finagled it and got it looking okay. There's actually another guy that's done the same bumper over in Korea. He's actually gone through a couple versions himself. I think his Instagram name, it's like YC95 or YC95.Lee or something like that. But anyway, I'll put his information down below. And I'm not taking credit for the first person doing this bumper. I think I probably have the third or fourth car in the world that has this style bumper. Like we showed in a video last year, we did mock up the bumper kind of with just the C7 bumper and showing you what we're planning on doing with it. We're gonna have that C7 bumper, the ZR1 bumper. Then I got all of the factory stuff from the C7 ZR1. I got all of the ducting, the brake ducting, the trans cooler, oil cooler, radiator cooler, whatever we decide to do up front. I do have all that ducting that we're going to try to integrate on the front of this car. So I think I'll have the only one that's try to utilize the C701 parts. And I bought all those parts like 14 or 15 months ago, whatever it was. And no, they've just been sitting in a box ever since in storage. So we're going to try to integrate that. We're not going to do that now. I just want to drive the car because, like I said, I haven't had the car for over a year. But down the line, I do plan on integrating all that cooling stuff into this front bumper, so it will be pretty much functional. Now, before we actually reveal the finished car, I do want to go over some dates and a timeline, kind of just going over the build itself. So, like I said, I dropped the car off middle of April, so April 19th. I actually had to get the car inspected. You guys will see that I don't have a tag on the car because the inspection I did of July that year, I went about July 31st is when my inspection was up. So it sat there for almost 3 months and they hadn't touched it. So I went and got it inspected, I brought it back, and then it just kept sitting. And the first update I have is actually show you some pictures now of the progress. This is the C7 bumper. You can see the C6 blue bumper and the black bottom C7 bumper. And basically at this point they cut the two bumpers in half. I believe they used self-tapper screws to get it aligned, and then they bonded it from the back, bonded it from the front. And what you see in this picture is basically the panel bond and the light sanding of it. The next update I got was from February 16th of 2022, so we've moved into this year. And as you guys can see, there's just basically body filler spread between the two panels. And I don't think there's any primer in this picture. There may or may not be. But yeah, so that was February 16th. The next set of pictures is actually from March 1st of this year. I actually went back to the body shop and checked it out, so I took these myself. And these are just your basic primer pictures, and I believe they'd already done most of the body work on that mold line, but at this point they were just scuffing and primering the bumper. And so this next set of pictures was from May 5th of this year. This was the final primer, and I believe they'd already done the glazing putty, you know, the final stuff and sealer, and it was just pretty much ready for paint. That was almost exactly a month ago. Yeah, so it's been kind of a crazy year. I finally got the call that the car was done, and I picked it up on June 3rd. So the car was gone from April 19th of 2021 to June 3rd of 2022. So, like I said, that's 14 or 15 months, something kind of crazy like that. And we did try to show you some pictures. I didn't really get any videos of them doing any of the body work. I just asked my body guy to take some pictures so that we could share it with you guys. So let me go ahead and get the Corvette backed out, and we'll show you what we got. Sorry Sorry guys, I just had to get you guys. They're real good. So let's go ahead and actually show you the bumper now. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it. That is the bumper project being complete. Hope you guys just enjoyed all those beauty shots. But basically, like I said, this is the top half of my original C6 bumper. We got the bottom half of the C701 style bumper from BonecrrusherSS. Then actually in the middle, which you guys can't see, what's in the middle is that black bumper. And my body guy actually cut that bumper up and used it as a bonding strip to basically to mount one surface edge to the other surface edge, so it had something to bridge that gap in the back of it, and that is on the inside of the bumper. So you guys can't see that. That won't be in today's video, but you know, maybe down the road when I got to do some work in here, we'll show you that reinforcement on the back. So this actually is 3 bumpers in one. You probably didn't need to use the third bumper, but I told them, you know, I had no use for it, so go ahead and do it. But as you guys can see, there is so much room for, you know, ventilation here. You guys can see clearly right into that side. Here you can see the intercooler. That's the radiator heat exchanger for the supercharger. Then over here on the driver's side, we still have our C6 brake ducting hooked up going to the C6 Z06 bumpers. Oh, and one thing I did change, you guys will notice this is carbon fiber. This actually is a carbon fiber piece. It's not just a piece of plastic. This is legit carbon fiber, and that replaced the flat black plastic that like the splitter has. And I bought those off a guy on eBay, and I actually have a front splitter that's in carbon fiber, but that's going to be a future video. We ran into a problem on that. So, and you guys can also notice our upgraded water pump there for the heat exchanger. So yeah, a lot of work, a lot of engineering, a lot of just test fitting pieces, taking them off, cutting them, taking them off, on and off. And so this ended up being a very expensive bumper. I'm not going to tell you how much I paid, how much I have into it, but I'll be fully transparent. I did get the bumper for free, the C701 bumper. Did get that from BonecrrusherSS as a sponsored part, I guess. And the black C6 bumper, that did cost me 200 bucks. So I had about 200 bucks in parts, and then I bought some other stuff, you know, that we're going to be putting on later on. But yeah, so and to give you guys perspective, supposedly there's 2 companies. The guy I mentioned over in Korea, I think he's going to try to start selling these. His design is a little bit different than ours. I don't think he was going to include the turn signals from a C6. So our design is a little bit different from theirs. And then there's another company that's basically blatantly ripped off the pictures from the Korean guy and tried to change the color on them and try to sell them on his website. And then they went out of business. Or they didn't go out of business, they declared bankruptcy. If you guys know who I'm talking about, they blocked me on Instagram and Facebook for calling them out on stealing the other guy's pictures. I'm obviously not here trying to make any money. I spent a bunch of money on this, but you know, I just want to say there are 2 people, 2 different companies trying to make these, and I haven't seen production pictures from either one. So, but yeah, getting back to cost, I do have 65 hours of labor on top of parts, paint, etc. So it's not just the bumper installer gluing, you know, cutting, gluing, and screwing the 2 bumpers together. We actually had a plate installed on the bottom. You guys can see that closeout panel right there. That's custom made. My body guy also custom modified the C6 lower black plastic pieces to fit the C7 bumper. So a lot of labor there, a lot of test fitting and getting stuff working. Oh, then they actually had to create a new bracket for our horns because those were in the way of the bumper from fitting. So just a bunch of stuff that had to go on and get this project done. But the primary thing we ran into, it was 65 degrees and raining real heavy when I drove home. The car tried to overheat. It got up to 240 degrees. So I have a theory that if you guys do a C7 style bumper, you need to get the proper ducting. I've seen this explained in other videos, but never really experienced it until now. Basically what's going on, I do not have a shroud on top of the motor. I have a solution for that, so I think there's You know, the air's not being forced to go in on the top or the bottom. You guys can see we do have that black plastic plate right there. So the air should go, you know, from here over that plate and up into the radiator package. But what I don't have are vertical pieces on this side or this side. So there's nothing forcing the air to take the path of least resistance to actually go into the radiator. I think what was going on was the air just went into this bumper and created a pocket, and it was just sitting there. So it wasn't actually being forced to go up into the radiator. Now, I really didn't have a major problem because I had a Casper's fan switch that I just flicked on. You guys might remember that a real long time ago. So I'll include that video link up above. But yeah, so just sitting in traffic, I turned the fan on high and I was able to get it cool down back down to like 200, 205 degrees, whatever it was. I was up to almost 240. So quite significantly warm for just being a 67-degree day, and it was raining out. So if you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you guys want to see more Corvette updates, we're going to have a ton. Hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications. If you guys want to help support the channel, check out all the links down below, and make sure you check our website, BonecrrusherSS.com. All of our merchandise sales on there go right into the channel, right in these projects, and paying off that bodywork debt that we owe. I'll have that paid off very shortly, but it was pretty significant. So thanks, guys. Have a great one.